Well, fox me and call me He-Man. What if I told you one of the biggest surprises of 2026 isn't a superhero movie? It isn't a sequel nobody asked for, but a movie based on the toy line from the 1980s. Well, fox me, that's exactly what happened with Masters in the Universe. Dude, do you want to sort yourself out? For fuck's sake, this is our first show. Honestly, you can't get the staff nowadays. Right, where was I? Somehow, against all odds, this film manages to be funny, action-packed, surprisingly emotional, and most importantly, it understands exactly the kind of movie it wants to be. And I foxing loved it. Now, I know I'm late to the party on this, but I actually saw the film a while ago, and I wanted to show it some love because more people should have gone to watch this film. Now, let's talk about it.
Fox Off Reviews. Fox Off Reviews. Fox Off Reviews.
That's me. Welcome to Fox Off Reviews, everyone. Today we're reviewing Masters of the Universe, the latest big screen adaptation of the legendary franchise that gave us He-Man, Skeletor, Battle Cat, and the world of Eternia. Now, going into this movie, I wasn't sure what to expect. We've seen countless attempts over the years to bring classic properties back to life, and a lot of them just fall into the same trap. They either become so serious that they forget what made the original fun, or they become a parody of themselves and completely lose the heart of the source material. Thankfully, Masters of the Universe avoids both of those mistakes, and it's foxing awesome. This movie knows exactly how ridiculous its concept is. It embraces it. It has fun with it. It doesn't spend 2 hours trying to convince you that a man shouting, "By the power of Grayskull," is somehow the darkest and most serious thing ever put on screen. Instead, it leans into the fantasy, the adventure, the campiness, and the result is one of the most entertaining blockbusters experiences of the year. Yeah. For those unfamiliar with the story, Masters of the Universe follows Prince Adam, the seemingly ordinary heir to Eternia, who possesses the power to transform into the mighty He-Man. When the evil Skeletor launches his latest plan to seize ultimate power, Adam finds himself caught between his responsibilities as a prince and the impossible expectations that come with being Eternia's greatest hero. The story takes Adam across both Eternia and Earth as he battles Skeletor forces, struggles with self-doubt, and ultimately learns what it truly means to become a hero that everyone believes to be. It's a classic hero's journey at its core, but it's told through humour, action, and heart to keep things feeling fresh and throughout. One of the biggest reasons this movie works is because it feels like a reaction to modern blockbuster fatigue. And let's be honest here, most of the superhero films that come out recently are bloody foxing awful. Supergirl, anyone? Over the last few years, we've had countless movies trying to be darker, grittier, more realistic, and more emotionally draining than the last one. Sometimes that's great, but sometimes you just want to sit down and watch a movie that wants you to have fun. This film never takes itself too seriously. It understands that it's a world full of giant warriors, magical swords, and over-the-top villains. Instead of running away from those elements, it celebrates them. There are so many moments where the movie seems to wink at the audience and say, "Yeah, we know this is ridiculous, but isn't this great?" And honestly, that's refreshing. In a cinematic landscape where everything feels like it's trying to set up the next universe, spin-off, sequel, or crossover, this movie focuses on being entertaining first and foremost. That's something I think audiences have been craving. Now, let's talk about the positives. The action absolutely delivers when it comes to the fight scenes. The choreography throughout this film is fantastic. Every battle feels clear, impactful, and easy to follow. There's none of this shaky cam nonsense where you can't tell who's punching who. The fights have weight behind them, and whenever He-Man enters the battlefield, you genuinely feel like you're watching the most powerful warrior in Eternia. The sword fights are impressive, and the final act contains some genuinely spectacular action sequences that had me in shock, locked in, shouting, "Foxing, get him, Adam!" It's the kind of action that feels fun rather than exhausting. Another huge positivity is the humour. Now, I will say, the comedy does take a little while to get going, but once the film finds its rhythm, it becomes genuinely funny. One of my favourite sequences is the prison breakout scene. Without spoiling too much, the chaos that involves has me laughing way more than I expected. The timing, the reactions, it's just genuinely hilarious. The movie never turns into a full comedy, but it knows exactly when to inject the humour and keep the audience smiling. Now, let's talk about the skeleton in the room. I've got a massive amount of credit as Leto as Skeletor. This rule could have gone horribly wrong in the hands of the wrong actor. Instead of trying to reinvent Skeletor, Leto completely understands his assignment. He's camp, he's theatrical, he's over the top, he's evil, and he's clearly having the time of his life. And he's lapping it up. Skeletor should be a character who dominates every room he walks into, and that's exactly what happens here. Every scene with him feels entertaining because you genuinely don't know what ridiculous thing he is going to do next. At the same time, he never becomes a joke beneath all the theatrics and is generally threatening villain who feels dangerous whenever he's on screen. So if you thought Leto was good as Skeletor, now let's talk about He-Man, Nicholas Galitzine. Fox, mate, is that how you say his name? Fox here, I'm just going to call him Nicholas. But if Jared Leto is a standout villain, Nicholas is the absolute heart of the movie. I thought he was fantastic at Prince Adam and He-Man. What impressed me most wasn't the physical side of the role. Sure, he looks the part and absolutely sells the action scenes. What impressed me was how well he portrayed Adam's vulnerability. This version of Adam understands that being He-Man isn't just about being strong, it's about carrying enormous responsibility. Nicholas really sells the emotional burden of being a hero. There are several moments where you can see the fear, uncertainty, and self-doubt beneath the surface, and it makes his journey feel much more meaningful. And honestly, after watching this film, I genuinely think he should be in the conversation for the next James Bond. He's got charisma, he's got screen presence, he's British, he can handle action, he can handle emotional scenes. And he has the rare quality where you simply can't take your eyes off him when he's on screen. I think he would absolutely ace that role. Without giving away any major spoilers, the third act is where the movie really elevates itself. Without giving away any major spoilers, the scenes where Skeletor gets inside Adam's head are some of the best moments of the entire film. Watching Skeletor drag Adam through different moments of his time on Earth and repeatedly expose what he sees as Adam's weaknesses creates a surprisingly compelling psychological battle. It's not just two characters hitting each other, it's a battle of belief, a battle of identity, a battle over whether Adam is worthy of being He-Man. These sequences are visually creative, emotionally engaging, and provide some of the strongest character development in the entire movie. It's easily my favourite section of the film. Now let's talk about some negatives. Now, despite how much I enjoyed this movie, it's definitely not perfect. The biggest issue is the first act. It takes a little too long to get going. The setup isn't bad, but it lacks the energy and the momentum that the rest of the film eventually finds. There are moments early on where I was waiting for things to properly kick into gear. Also, the humour doesn't land as consistently as the beginning. The movie becomes much funnier later, but those opening sections feel noticeably weaker by comparison. There's also the roommate character who unfortunately didn't work for me. I understand why he's there, and some people might enjoy him, but I found him more annoying than entertaining for large portions of the film. Finally, there are a few editing choices throughout the movie that feel a little strange. Certain transitions and cuts occasionally feel awkward and can disrupt the flow of otherwise strong scenes. I'm saying to myself, wait, Adam's fighting there. Where's Skeletor gone? Oh, right, he's right behind him. I'm like, what the fuck's up in there? But they're not major issues, but they did stand out. Enough for me to notice. Now, for the bit you've all been waiting for, the Fox Offertron. I'm giving it a good, and you should go watch it now on streaming. Because if enough people watch it and there's some genuine interest, hopefully it will get a second instalment. At the end of the day, Master of the Universe succeeds because it understands exactly what audience want from a He-Man movie. It's fun, exciting, self-aware, it embraces the campiness of the franchise without mocking it, it gives a fantastic Skeletor, a genuinely compelling He-Man, strong action, solid humour, an absolute brilliant third act. Sure, as the first act's a little slow, some of the editing's a bit odd, and not every character works, but those flaws are easily overlooked when the movie is having so much fun. This is one of the biggest surprises of 2026, and proof that not every blockbuster needs to be a dark and serious to succeed. Sometimes, all you need is a giant sword, a skeleton-faced villain, and a hero willing to believe in himself, and a movie that isn't afraid to embrace how wonderfully foxy and ridiculous it all is. Right, I'm off now. I went to go see Brand New Day the other day, so keep an eye on my channel over the next few days where I'll be doing a spoiler review. Right, I'm going to get the fox out of here and drink some whiskey. Till the next video, folks.